How's it going, everybody? Greetings from Nerdiest Time, and today we are on the grand finale of Bruticus Week. And before we get into anything about this, I actually want to address something about Vortex. Real quick, I actually recommend, when it comes to the backpack, you don't want it to look like this, basically. What I actually recommend doing is rotating the rotors down. That actually has room for the tail fins to actually sit on the rotors properly. It prevents the rotors from spinning around, and plus there's even kind of like a little bit, like this little bit here actually can sit in the pin here. So it actually keeps the rotors in place, thankfully. So that's all I wanted to address about Vortex here. And let's get one last good looking shot of all the Combaticons here. Just epic looking. And with that, let us get the combined mode weapon first, before we get down to Bruticus. So here we have all of the Combaticon weapons. So they all turn into one big combined mode gun, which I absolutely love. Let's start with Onslaught's rifle. Collapse that. Bring this down. It's a combined mode handle. And fold that up. It keeps the barrel from unlocking itself. Let us put this little blaster from Vortex, and god damn it, I keep dropping it, sorry about that. And place it like so. Then we are going to fold Blastoff's gun up like so. And then that. Put the handle away. Flip this back, not all the way. I'll show you why in a bit. And then take Brawl's guns, and then you put them right here on the ends here. This little tab will go into this very small slot right there. Make sure you fold the handles away. Rotate the magazines out. And then I'm going to peg this bit. This peg goes into this port at the very bottom. Make sure it's at the very, very bottom. Like so. Then Swindle's little blaster here will go... I just forget how to do this. Leave right here. Yep, okay. So it was like right here. You have this peg here that goes into this port right here. Peg that in. And then you have these two tabs that'll go into these two slots on either side of the Onslaught blaster, the barrel that is. And tabs that in. Orientate the magazines like so. And then Swindle's blaster just sit on the ports right here so it fills it in. I will show you guys a fan mode at the very end of the video, of course. But there you have the big combined mode gun, and boy howdy does that look epic. I love it when all their weapons turn into a big combined mode gun, and this is no exception. Looks a little janky, but hey, the fact that it looks this huge is certainly awesome. And with that, let's put this to the side. Let us get down to that big boy. So if you guys need any tips on the Limbot combinations, check out the rest of the Pocket Toys Bruticus playlist. It will show you the combined mode steps. I will not be showing those in this video. With that, we will take a look at the rest of this trailer base. So we will take Onslaught here, like so. Remove the giant cannon, and remove the back cannons, the Onslaught ones, and then just orientate, get him basically half robot, half vehicle. So you're gonna we're gonna do the legs first. Fold those out, take the combined mode joints out like so. Or actually, leave these open because you'll need the clearance to connect the legs. You're gonna untap the legs together, and untap the legs from each other rather, and then extend them out. Then you're going to bend it at the combined mode hip, like so. Here, a nice and sturdy click. There you go. Actually, I recommend rotating the shin like so that way it prevents the knee from collapsing in. Do so. Rotate out like this, and then like this. There we go. It's a very, very tight joint. And then for the upper part, rotate like so. You have this tab that will go into this slot right here. Rotate. Sure it's orientated properly so it's even and parallel to the body, or perpendicular rather, my apologies. Same thing over here. That. And what I like to do to fill in the space is like leave the head out. It fills in the space between the part forming pieces and the Onslaught's body. So now we're going to put the big old diaper, we're going to put the crotch together. We're going to fold it like so. This large tab will go into this slot right here. And this little tab will go into this slot right here. And then rotate the hip skirts like so. Then you have these two covers that will go over the hip joints. And this tab will go over this very, very, very poorly placed slot on his crotch. And boom, he's got a Giga Chad crotch. Then we'll take this piece here, set this down, rotate these up, then rotate the combined mode shoulder joints out like so, rotate them, and then rotate the wheels down. Same thing on this side. Like that. And then we will, these two slots will go into these two tabs right here. Like so. These will fold about regardless. I don't know if it's tighter on the Iron Factory, the official one, or not. But yeah, these are really flappy. It is annoying sometimes. Put it down. And we have the Bruticus chest. Reveal the wings like usual. And then leave the head up for a bit. Then you have this large tableau go into this slot in his abdomen. And you have these two little ports here. That will go into these two tabs right here. So it's very, very secure connection. Now, the reason I said leave the head up is because you need it to have this tab right here to sit in this slot right there. Sit there. Let's properly fix up the head. Bring up the mohawk. Oh, come on. And then rotate the antenna. They are softy rubber or soft plastic, but you have to grab them at the base so that way you don't break them. And then take the cannons. You get these two purple pegs. Then go into these two ports right here. Like so. The cannons will face up. I like to leave them like this, but you can also rotate them like this if you like to see the giant ray here. Honestly, I actually do kind of like that look more, so let's do that. And then Onslaught's cannons, what I like to do is, oh, sorry about the camera, is the peg can go into this port right here, and then what I do is I bend it down like this, so it makes it look like just giant struts on his back. I like that look. You're also going to take the missile pods from Blastoff and Vortex, or rather Onslaught, and you're going to put them right here to give him a very, very, very large butt. Like, he definitely did not miss butt day. Like, he really did not miss it. Alrighty, and with that, let us combine the big boy. But let us take a look at this torso. Just look at this chunky boy. Big and chunky, like he is dense. You hold him, you are holding like two legends or a full deluxe. He's chunky. Let's get down to combination. Which of course means we begin with the legs. Now, for Brawl, we have to make sure that the combined mode, focus camera, focus. We have to make sure that the combined mode joint is back a click. So, let us begin. Let's get the joint here. Just slide it in. Come on. Oh, come on. Jeez, hold on. Maybe 2 clicks. There we go. 2 clicks. 2 clicks is actually a good thing. Then, rotate the windshield down. Rotate like so. And actually keeps the leg in place. The same cannot be said for Swindle. You just rotate that down and click, make it straight. There you go. The legs all done. Like so. Just adjust that real quick. Just the camera, because even for Legends, he gets tall. Let's put Blastoff here. These 2 slots go into the 2 tabs here. Just bring that in. There you go. And then Vortex is the same thing. Just rotate it down a bit. and fix the cannons rather, up like so. And here we have Iron Factory or actually Pocket Toys Bruticus in combined mode, and oh my gosh, oh man, truly Iron Factory just rocked it, like just completely, like they knocked it out of the fucking proverbial park. This is such a breathtaking Bruticus, truly menacing, beefy, and just heavy looking. He is quite impressive. Let's take a quick look at that oh so spectacular head sculpt. Check that out. It captures the essence of the character so perfectly. The metallic red eyes were of my touch because they were the same translucent purple you see on the cannons. You can see it quite well because the silver reflects the light pretty nicely. I got some gunmetal for the mouth plate. Oh, and the reason I painted the eyes was because there was no light piping, as you can see. So it was not only redundant, it was dumb. Got some metallic yellow around the head to mimic Vortex and mostly gonna be Onslaught and such. Yeah, let's zoom out just a tiny bit and just get a look at all the details. Love the lots of silver. Would have preferred the blast off colors. That's my gig. Not because it's cartoon accurate, just because it looks more appealing. Like there is actually visual color, but this still looks stunning. Got some clear purple here. Decepticon symbol is of my touch. As you can see, it doesn't fit because they made it too small. Some gunmetal here. Just got some clear purple here. Got lots of chrome lining around it. Oh, and some more gunmetal on the wings here. So clear purple, for some reason, cockpit on his, anyway. Chrome on the crotch flaps and gunmetal as well. And yeah, more or less we've seen most of this from the rest of the members. The feet, like so. Love the chunky feet. I love that they stayed the gray. I don't like the colored feet. Makes it look like he has mismatched shoes. As cool as it is that the combined mode team is built from, like, their appendages are built from them. Cool as that is, it's such a nightmare to do, and it always looks terrible, i.e. Ocular Max. Good example. Yes, that's unfortunate. There is no way. You can't turn the head around. There's just no way. You have to live with Brawl taking a look at you. Warning, Bruticus. You got the big metal butt. Like, I cannot get over the fact that he has this giant missile pack for a butt. It's hilarious. It doesn't hinder articulation in the legs because the legs themselves are hindered as it is. But quite impressive. Always love the giant cannon, the giant backpack, and the cannons. It just works so well. Here's from the back. It's quite impressive. Quite impressively clean, if I do say so myself. Now, let us get down to some articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and it can look down that far, and that is amazing. That is just amazing. A combiner pulls off that kind of look down. Here, let me show you what it looks like. Can't really see him, but thankfully, the head is on a plate that moves, meaning he can still see you. Oh yeah, he can see you. He ain't missing a look. Can do a full 360, but due to how tight it sometimes is, and how cramped it is, it's kind of redundant. He has quite the attitude. Like, he's got some attitude for his size. And he can look up pretty decently for a combiner. Stop moving that mohawk. I always hate that look. I like the subtlety when it's sweeping back, not pointed forward. That just looks ridiculous. You got the shoulders are double jointed, but they can only go out this far for blast off, and this far for Vortex. Due to the wheels, there is no way to remedy this, unfortunately. Vortex has this inward joint, but and it has no like prevention. Blast Off, thankfully, has that covered, but in my fan mode, I'll show you something that I actually prefer be done. He has double jointed elbows. A combiner with those is always a good combiner to me. Like even for that, he's got some curl, and that's great. That is due to the soft ratchet as the main elbow, and the waist for Blast Off, and the butt for Vortex. Fortunately for Vortex being so meaty, double jointed elbow is just kind of like it, he has it, but not by action, only by name. The wrist swivels, like fully. The fingers are very well articulated for the size. Ball joint at, oops, hold on, let me at least show you the hand. Ball joint at the base with a secondary hinge. It gets a very good curl for a very big fist. You got a ball joint at the base of the thumb. Sorry for bumping the camera. And 2 pins at the base and the thumb, which is the best way to articulate your thumbs. He can make a very, very lovely, very convincing, might I add, fist, which is quite nice. Looks very threatening. A waist swivel. Let me get those out of the way. His legs can go forward with the hip skirts getting out of the way. Only this far, sadly, because of the hip skirts getting in the way, oddly enough. He can only move his legs, at least thankfully, his legs being extended out of the way can move back, but only 1 click still. Which I recommend, and I'll just do it right now, to show you how well articulated the legs going, well, geez, okay, going back is, they can't actually go farther back. So far, they go straight out. Thigh swivel using onslaughts above the knee swivel. Joe Cannon back on there. He has double jointed knees. It goes for 1 for onslaught, and it goes you that far, but swindles gets you that far. You get more than 90 degrees, which is pretty much all you need for a combiner, especially one this size. You don't need a super articulation, mostly because combiner proportions are kind of hard to mimic. For Brawl, you can get a little more, but that's just from Brawl's joint alone. You can even use the onslaught knee if you really want that, although it would look a little weird because his thigh is bending too. Let me fix the hip skirts up real quick. Fix that. The got legs that get an ankle tilt all the way out. Got a toe that can go very far up, nothing down, and no real pivot. Well, let us put the weapon on before we get down to a very quick size comparison. We got a few, actually. So let's put that there. Oh, hold on. You have a massive, massive tab that I trimmed on one other side. That'll go into the hand, the slot in the hand. Let's orientate the fingers like so. There you go. Let's orientate them properly before we get down and dirty. Zoom out. Down. Alrighty. Down to size comparisons. With our usual suspect being Iron Factory Wheeljack. And yeah, who knew a little bit of parts forming makes what essentially was very small lads to a combiner that big. But, shock of shocks, we are going to do something different with comparisons. We're not just going to do the usual little lad. I just realized I have yet to compare this crew to, my apologies for bumping the camera. We are going to be doing some core class figures, since I have yet to compare them with this big lad. Starting with, of course, the only 2 core Autobots that I have. I will more than likely be doing a big core class review when I have all the core class figures, or at least most of the ones that appeal to me. And yeah, these guys scale oh so nicely with the big boy himself. And they actually do scale very well with the Limbots, mainly Brawl and Onslaught, because these 2 are actually, and maybe Blast Off as well, because these 2 are actually quite huge next to Optimus, which is correct. And with the Decepticons. And yeah, that's way better. That is way better. Unsurprisingly. Surprise. reveal from Shockwave himself. And Starscream, who of course is way out of scale with this one screen cap, but I really find that shot ridiculous. It was like Starscream's like 25 or 30 feet tall in G1, so yeah, imagine a 30-foot size head. But yeah, they look great next to this huge lad. So what's this fan mode I was talking about? Well, it's just a few little transformation changes and some weapon placement. Starting with, of course, the obvious ones that flew right off his butt. Because he's got a clench. So, we have this peg here. What I like to do is I put the peg here in the left, on the right port here, in Vortex. Right there. You have some Vortex, the missile pods. However, I do not do this for Blast Off. Because I honestly don't like how, like, that doesn't look right to me. So I put it right on the back over here. And I put it on the right side because Blast Off's right arm and the slot. I put it right there. And plus it helps lock in the onslaught cannons, which definitely helps from them flying about on his back. And plus it gives him missile pods on the back too, which I actually like that idea. The next thing I do is I actually remove these cannons from Blast. Oh god, you know what? I'm taking them off. I'm not gonna have them fall. Take them off of Blast Off arm mode, because boy, that's tight. And then I'm gonna take the giant rifle out of his hand as well. The reason I actually remove those cannons is because it actually hampers a very much needed articulation point. Because the shoulders themselves are rather limited. So what I do is when I remove that, now his shoulder can go all the way out. And it doesn't even look that bad either. Like, it's actually, especially at this angle, it's really centered with his torso. Which is quite a surprising thing when you think about it. And right here, it actually doesn't look that bad either. Again, it's just like Kingdom Ultra Magnus, but not as horrid. Let's fix that. Oh, yeah, Kingdom Ultra Magnus. Woo, that'll be a review one day. Oh dear. So, unfortunately, Vortex himself does not have anything to improve his shoulder articulation, sadly. It's the end-all be-all. So, the cannons here, I actually untab them, collapse them, and I take the Swindle turrets, and I take those off. I take those off, and we put them with the vehicle mode pegs and put them in like so. And like so. Just put them aside. I give Swindle one of the cannons and I put it right here. And I just realized Swindle does not have his roll cage. Or whatever it's called. His suitcase carrier, his luggage carrier. And I get the other one to Vortex and I put it right on his shoulder plate thingy. Just put it right there. And I point it just up enough to where this can spin still. Rotate those back. What I like to do is I also like to make sure that the rotors themselves are not parallel to the base of the rotors, so that way they flare out a bit, makes them look even more impressive on his shoulder, but they also spin freely without colliding into, say, the tail fin or the now added gun. Speaking of gun, let's put this back in his hand. And like so. And hold on. Where's the finger? There it is. It's like, where's his pointer finger? That way it looks correct. And for Swindle, and for the thighs, actually, what I like to do is for Onslaught, for the thighs, I rotate Onslaught's foot around, and oh my god, there it is. And then bring that back, and then I make sure it's in here, so that way for Swindle, it fills in that cavity, because boy, is it an unsightly cavity. Because this, unfortunately, cannot go back. So it kind of helps in the smallest way possible. It does at least mitigate the job. For Brawl, it's actually a lot easier. Just flip it around. It's a lot better on Brawl because it actually sits flush with Brawl's, like, with the knee on Brawl. Speaking of, I rotate the turret around. I don't like how they did that. I actually prefer the turret pointing straight up at his leg, like across his leg. It's like he has a giant tank turret on his leg, which is awesome. And, oh, don't lean. And I believe that is actually it for the fan mode that I like to do. And there is actually one last accessory that this big boy comes with. Unsurprisingly, it's a Shockwave Blaster. Like, what else would it be? And, of course, it's actually quite nicely done here. Let me adjust the camera. Let me adjust this for you guys so you can see it better. Yeah, it's actually really, really nice. The crosshair radar is actually on a hinge, so you can collapse it or have it point up. I don't know why it does that, but it does that. You have the rubber hose. It's rather soft plastic, might even be hard rubber, and it's quite nice. Let's take him out. Lovely silver as always on the barrel. The giant translucent purple fusion beam or whatever you want to call that is in there, and it looks quite lovely, although it's actually quite hard to see. Let me back the big boy up. Nope, that doesn't help. You have, it would probably be even light piping, or nope, of course it isn't. Damn it, Iron Factory. You have purple translucent bits all around the barrel, and on, of course, the Shockwave chest. And yeah, quite a lovely little gun. Obvious screw holes that look hideous on this end. But that's actually very nice for what it is. It's supposed to mimic that of their Shockwave, which I do not have. I think he's called like Bridge Watcher or something like that. But I, unsurprisingly, do not have it, and I don't even think I will get it, because why would I? He has a Shockwave Blaster. What more can I ask? And also, in the middle of trying to pose that, I found out you can technically use, like, you can kind of cheat an extra shoulder joint with Vortex. Let me make sure these are out the way. You can just, you have to force it, though. You have to force it out. It kind of works. It does hold its position. Do not get it wrong. It like, do not get me wrong. It does hold its position. But it's, you have to, it at this point, it's not even like blast off here where it, like, it's a soft click, but it actually goes out. Like, you have to get some work into it just for it to get out like that. But at the very least, you now have an extra articulation joint for Vortex, so at the very least, it helps. So there's nothing wrong with that. But besides that, that's been my review for Pocket Toys Bruticus and the Combaticons. And yeah, it's just quite the impressive set. Certainly my best first impressions for Iron Factory. I think I got him before I got Wheeljack, and yeah, very pleased with it. Truly pleased. Again, like, for a first impression, if this was Iron Factory, definitely a good first impression. But this is the Pocket Toys one, which apparently turns out to have better QC than the official Iron Factory one. It's still a massive, massive, massive high recommend from me. Truly. Even if you don't like Bruticus, the Combaticons slap, and vice versa. The alt modes are all really, really cool. Vortex and Blast Off are probably some of the most articulated figures I've ever had, especially at not even 4 inches. That is certainly no slouch for praise. Yeah, that is just amazing. He poses like a fucking dream, and this is a combiner back in the day of 2016. This guy is an old combiner, hence his smaller stature. I do have other Legend scale combiners, as you guys have seen, but I want to review those before I show you guys how he looks. If Magic Square didn't release like a bigger, more properly scaled Bruticus, I definitely wouldn't have gotten it, and just hoped that they made a bigger version of this. Because, again, truly an excellent piece from Iron Factory, and I guess Pocket Toys, but to be fair, it is just the Iron Factory with better QC. I hope you all enjoyed this video and this series of Bruticus Week. I will definitely be doing more reviews from now on. This has been Nerdy as Dime, rolling out.